Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. And it's live. You're focusing here. And it's live. It's Thursday. It's lunchtime, so you know what time it is. It's time for the Russy Rumour Roundup. What's been going on the last 24 hours when it comes to West Ham? It's got a bit cray-cray, as the kids would say. Anyone new to the channel, what we do is we basically put together, we collate all the latest rumours, usually on a Monday and a Thursday, and we present them back to you live. Now, as always, we do a warning. I'm not saying we're going to be signing all of these players. And in fact, we keep a tally of all these players in terms of the numbers that we've been linked with to exemplify that point. That's a long word for a Thursday lunchtime. But obviously, we have had some movement, haven't we, in recent hours. So we'll be talking about that. Let's have a look and see who we got in the chat. Oh, wow, loads of people. I went Duran. We'll talk about that in a minute. Keep again and pay Zoomer off. We're not going to pay Zoomer off. We're not going to. Apparently, other clubs in Europe, we're going to talk about him as well. Fullkrug. Going to be hard to attract overseas players without the character of Europe. Yeah, but I think you've got money, which does help some of that. It's fine. Duran is at the back of the bus. That's where the bad boys sit anyway. Just missing Anton hanging at the back of the bus. Yeah, indeed. I see. Yep. Well, we weren't. No. Let's flip reverse it, Michael. We weren't quoted. That's what his original transfer release clause was. And we weren't going to pay that. And then we walked away. Now, with the developments of someone we're going to talk about in a minute, I think clearly Jota Silva was our backup option, which is why he's going to Forest. Afternoon, William. Surprised they went after him. They have Nilsson and Garland. When Garland could be moved on, as that's what I was reading. Italian clubs, I think, interesting. Get around now, be a good window. Upgrade right back. Wouldn't mind a Dawson-esque centre back. Is Tim bringing home the bacon in Tim We Trust? Well, he's driving the car. And Hammer's headlines, he's flying the plane. AVB on the way, maybe we'll come to that. Gates is in the chat. Keep an eye on the channel. We're going to be doing some stuff with Gatesy going forward, starting from next week. So it'll be exciting. Bringing back one of the most hotly anticipated shows that were on West Ham YouTube last season on the West Ham Network. Afternoon, Ken, hope you're well. Things looking up. Watch Volk. He looks. What's really good actually, Ken, is go and watch Jamie Talks. He's done a little. Jamie did a little video. I think he's on his TikTok, might be on his YouTube channel. Obviously, Jamie was on yesterday with Fever turning up as well from E20. But he talks about what he would bring to a Lopetegui system, and I think it's really exciting, particularly with the Summerville thing. Please send a copy of a jet plane of Volta Villa. I am in the house indeed. Wow, there's loads of comments. What we got there? Neil from Newcastle, Australia. I just went Newcastle, then I realized Newcastle, Australia. Have there been news about firstly moving on from West Ham? Would like to see a few go, one in, one out. Desperately need a quick midfielder. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Yep. You're correct. Actually, wasn't. No, sorry. Well, yeah. You're technically correct. The last Dutch player who played for us was Marco Boogers. Not the last Dutch player in the squad. That was Raymond van der Houw a few years later. But the last Dutchman was a winger as well. And he did really well for us. Is that Moyes? Is that the bus Moyes used? No, it's the one that it's got the bubbles that's going down the Tampa High Street. Really patient with Tim and fine with the Folk. The Folk, yes. Yes, Rav, that's what I'm calling him now. John from Phuket. He would have been after De Boer. God rest his soul. That would have been early 90s. Yeah, when Jerome Boer... When did Jerome Boer play for us? Let's go into my little... Where's my little box of tricks? Let's have a quick look. That's a great shout. Ah, yeah, you see? Yep. Yeah, Ball would have been Jerome Ball would have been. Because he played 11 times. Was 85, 86. So yeah, it was the season before. Because I think that interesting. Drone the ball, indeed. Raymond van der Houw was our last Dutch play we had on there, I think. But anyway, let's crack on to it. Let's talk about Jhon Duran. Let's start with Jhon Duran, and hopefully you're liking the new graphics. Anton came up with an idea, and I loved it. So we've got all out for it. No development. It's gone quiet, which is usually a sign that something's going to happen. Don't forget, we apparently 2 days ago, and Anton did a show about this, saying how we were walking away from the Summerville deal, and then we ended up signing. Well, practically going to be signing Jimmy by the end of probably early tomorrow. Obviously, he's got his. We'll talk about that in a minute, but nothing happening at the moment in terms of what's the likelihood. But again, these things tend to come in and come out. So the Russy Rumour rating has given it a 60% because I still think I'm not as not hopeful. That's the wrong name. Not as can't think of the right word. Confident, but we'll see. We'll see. He'll come in January. I'm fucking buzzing about Summerville. Are you happy with Jimmy coming in? Very much so. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about Jimmy. Obviously, Jimmy, Crysencio, Summerville. Now, we know that the fee's been agreed, £25 million plus add-ons. That's going to be paid, £25 million to be paid in instalments, plus around £5 million based on performance based add-ons, and an additional clause, according to Sean Wheatston, that if he becomes a full Dutch international, currently under 21 Dutch international, a full international appearance for the Netherlands, it goes up to £34 million, which is still a lot more than the 40 million, a lot less than the 40 million we were quoted with. So 5-year deal, medical today, potential to fly out tomorrow to meet up with the team on Saturday. You could see him in a West Ham shirt again for Crystal Palace. Not for Crystal Palace, for the Crystal Palace game, which would be pretty mental. We're going to talk about it in a minute. I obviously, what do you think about getting and loading on loan obligation to buy it? They are wanting. Did you see ones at West Ham getting on the loan? We'll see, Mitch. We'll see. For me, I wouldn't be surprised if we try and do a deal with that now, because we're spending a bit of money now, and it's just not saying we haven't got the money to spend, but I think I could see that happening. Don't they have 2 days? Well, I think Michael is a fit lad. He's a fit lad, and they are hoping he'll be available, or will be at least meeting up with the squad in Orlando, or not Florida, not Orlando, but in Florida, higher up. Obviously, great play Crystal Palace on Saturday before coming back. So he gets a 90% Russy Rumour rating for me. Never 100% until they've signed. 99, I'm going to give that a 99. Never count your chickens. As Birdseye would always say. All right, who's next? Next we have got Aaron Wan Bissaka, the third person on my. Did you like my thing? I thought it was quite clever. I thought I was quite pleased with that. And see, I put like London Stadium and I put Manchester. I don't just throw this place thing together. You know that. I quite like that. Anyway, so we're just about to talk about Wan Bissaka. Should be midnight unless there's another rainstorm like last time. Now, Wan Bissaka. So where are we on that? According to some reports, he's agreed personal terms with West Ham already, in the same way that Summerville had already agreed personal terms with us before Leeds had finalised the deal. And we moan about being tapping up other players. He's apparently, according to a report from Team Talk, amongst others, he's very keen to complete a move to the Hammers now. Hopefully this one gets done as soon as possible. It does seem that West Ham and Man United are very close negotiations in terms of value. They're obviously still trying to. I think they're still waiting to get the Nazora deal in before this one happens, so they're not short. But I am quite excited. because I think, and again, I talk about Hammer's headlines, I think, later on, if we look at who we've brought in, clearly we know that Lopetegui wanted Mats Kilman his number one centre-back transfer target. He's got him. By what we're led to be believed, Summerville was our left-sided player number one target, which apparently we've got. And so now Duran could be our number one target. That's what we're led to be believed. I think the Folk, who I'm going to call him now, the Folk is someone that we know Snyder knows very well. Looking at it, I think, looking at the way it's all sorted out, I've lost my train of thought now. What was I going to say? It was being really insightful. Yeah, sorry, Tim Sutton. Yeah, I'll talk about Folk in a minute anyway. Fuck it. I've put him at 80%. 80% for the old Russy Rumour rating. So we shall see. Who we got any more? Who we got up here? He's Bowden Pat-Man back for Saturday. We'll talk about Pat-Man. We know he's met up with the team. He did that yesterday, so there we go. I think centre back would be the icing cake. How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Check out 3 Hammers. Lovely content as per usual, geez. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I think. I mean, if we end up the transfer window coming out of it with possibly new 2 centre halves, a new right back, possibly a new midfielder, maybe. Talk about that in a minute. Luis Guilherme. We've got, Summerville, the Folk, possibly even maybe Duran as well. That has got to be our best transfer window ever. And your answer is yes, he is. But yeah, amazing bit of business. There's been some. We were looking at him during January, weren't we? You got to think he's 12 million is a good deal for him. Premier League proven already. Also, the thing about Summerville, apparently he's homegrown as well, according to a Leeds fan. So because going back, he does comply. I think he signed. We did a little video. I might put it out again later in terms of a bit more information about who he is and where he's come from and stuff like that in terms of Summerville. But he is homegrown as well, which is really useful. We do need him. You're totally right. I said Jerome Burr. That's what I said. Everyone has got different views and priorities. I like it, Tim, keeping us guessing. Where do you think we'll finish in the league? Well, I think if we get everyone in and we haven't got the extra games of Premier League, extra European games, we've got to be in European contention places this year. Surely. Must be our best signing ever. And again, we can judge that in 3 years' time, really, when we see these players and how the team has developed. When I saw the Folk in the Euros, I thought, he's a bit of me, and we are. As I said, he was looking back at it. I think we'll talk about him actually. Let's talk about it now because it's easier because it makes more sense. Let's talk about the Folk. So with the Folk, I think I worked out he's one of the last players that Tim Snyder would have signed when he was at Werder Bremen before he went to Bayer Leverkusen. He would have at the time he was director of football at Werder Bremen, and I think he signed him in the April, and I think he left for Bayer in that summer. So he would have been one of the last players. So he's someone he knows very well. 31-year-old Borussia Dortmund striker, German, obviously played in the Euros. Doesn't look like it. Do you know what? If we signed him, he's going to be the next Craig Dawson. I just got a feeling about him. He just seems a man of the people. Look at him. He's the type of guy you could... And that's what I think we've lost recently. A lot of the players we've signed, he's a very fit man. But if he walked into, I don't know, Checkers or, I don't know, the Black Lion or the Carpenters in a builder's outfit, you wouldn't think of him, wouldn't look at him twice. He's got teeth missing, but he's a fucking good player. And he's a real sort of renaissance player, and he's peaked maybe towards the end of his career. Obviously, he didn't put on a German shirt international shirt until about 18 months ago. Now, He's apparently, we're in discussions. Tim apparently has flown out to Germany to get this one over the line. But we'll talk about it a little bit more in Hammer's headlines. The Stardon Airways is well underway. I've done a great thumbnail for it as well. There was some belief that he could also be meeting up with the team for the US tour. I don't think that's happening. I think there's not enough time there. Sky's Patrick Berger, not the former Liverpool man, I don't think. He's mentioned Atletico Madrid and Stuttgart all sitting and taking notice of our interest in the Folk. I almost called him the Hulk. The Folk. Apparently, AC Milan were interested and pulled out the race as they believe West Ham had already secured his services. But it's going to be an interesting one. What happens? What we got here? Let's go through a few comments about him. I reckon we get Folk for a year. Look, at the end of the day, if we get Niclas in, he costs us 15 million quid, scores a goal to get us into Europe. Well, not even that, it's link-up play. As I said, goal scoring is not really an issue for us at the moment. It hasn't been an issue. It's the back end. So we can get a few more goals, it helps. And he doesn't rely, I mean, Mikel Antonio's 33, 34, and he's always relied on pace. Niclas hasn't. He's very much a link-up man, and I think it'd be really exciting. I'm not too excited. He's decent at his age. I think he'll come good. I hope we do secure Europe. I didn't watch Euros, but obviously he's good enough for the Euro. Don't think he could be that bad, though we did fumble with Italy's number 9, indeed. Seems a geezer. Does seem a geezer, and I like that. The Soulé one might be more to Villarreal, apparently. Villarreal looking at him. And again, I think he's a backup to our first choice. So no doubt we'll keep abreast of that, but I'll see what happens. Folk on a 3-year deal, 1 year till it goes, would work nicely. It does indeed, so it might be something we wait on later on. 100% agree, Folk may seem getting, but I think it'll be, this to me, although he's going to cost a little bit more than Craig Dawson, he could have a Dawson-esque effect on this side. He's really good at holding up the play, drawing defenders in, and releasing quick players. Who are we about to sign? Probably one of the quickest players in the English game on one wing. On the other side, we've got an England winger, and probably playing at a 10, we've got one of the standout stars from last season in the Premier League as well, in terms of Kudus. So those three behind a Fullkrug, a target man. I tell you what, guys, I'm getting horny thinking about this season. I'm getting horny. David Banger, he could be the one. He totally right, mate. Totally right. Don't even want Duran. Russ, I think he could be as good without the injuries. Could be. Claiming flying on a plane. That's really to be believed. Is what it's like with England. With Kane, totally agree. At least 4 years left, possibly club options. We could throw up with. That's what I mean. You've got options. And by the sounds of it, Danny Ings is going to be hanging around as well. So there's going to be lots of options in terms of who we can bring in. You're a good optimist. I am, mate. I am. I tell you, that's why I'm a happy man. That's why I'm always a happy man. Glass half full type person. That's me. Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side. That's the song I'm going to be playing. Who knows? But the thing is, we've got a few more years on him than Teddy Sheringham did. But although Teddy was one of the last players, to score 20 goals, although he wasn't in the championship, but still. Kicking the can down the road with the oldest long-term striker, which I'm okay with. Had a lot of positions to recruit, indeed. Record week, at least browsing anew. What's the need? A decent team this year, indeed. The balls that'll end up in the box, 20 could well. Yeah, he's a bit of a poacher as well. Right, who is next? Who's next? We have got Baris. Oh, Barry. A name we've been talking about a bit. Again, I think we're starting to see like the cream rise to the top in terms of our transfer rumours. I don't think you'll get many. We might get a random, but I think we're sort of starting to see, it's like panning for gold. All the crap seems to be going away and we're left with the nuggets at the moment. One guy that hasn't gone away is Yilmaz. Now, according to Photosport, it reported of the latest developments regarding the future of him, and they say his agent has met West Ham in London. He was in London previously with his agent. It's been widely reported that also Liverpool had negotiations with the player and the agent as well. Turkish media goes on to say the 24 regrets extending his contract last summer because he could be earning more money at a major European club rather. He recently reported that apparently we were going to come in with a £35 million offer for the right winger. I don't think we will now. He had a great Euros as well. Brighton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United and Spurs have all been linked with him. He started 28 games last season, 7 goals. And contracted with Galatasaray into 2027. I think he's a fit. I think he's a Lamar. It's a Lamar in terms of Baris Alper. He could be a fullback option. It does seem that there are a lot of fullback options, which I like. And I think sometimes we think that we think, oh, we didn't get him. Oh, we missed out on him. I don't know if it was. Fantastic. Love it. Extra shot. We're talking about, we're going to talk, I think you know about I think we're talking about that midfielder anyway. It's already lined up. And he dropped it before me, the bugger. Not sure how we'll play because we'll definitely. Oh, Antonio's already coming out now and saying he wants to play and he's looking for competition. It's the same thing that happened when Skarmaka came out. He's going to sign him. Bit of focal point. Yep, I totally agree. 100% happy. Let the games begin. Do what Razor says if you like. If you're excited or not, or you're just watching, hit the like button. Doesn't play the rice wheel. Well stocked there. He doesn't do. What do you think? Can drink more beer? Fullkrug or Suchek? I reckon Fullkrug. It's the German versus the Czech, isn't it? Now we're going to go through a few sort of rumours, which I don't think are going to happen now because of everything, but we report them as always. Talking about Federico Chiesa, the Juventus winger from Italy. Apparently, West Ham have been linked, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, for a potential move for the Juventus star this summer. However, it does seem that wages would be an issue. He is apparently, well, that makes sense. The newspaper says West Ham apparently balking at his demands of 80k a week, which doesn't seem a lot. I know it seems a lot to us, but in football terms, unless they're talking about pre-tax or after tax, which would mean something like 160 grand a week. He's available for 21 million quid. He's 26, but I just think and I was about to say the same thing, a lot of injuries in his career. Good player. I can see him as someone like Chelsea eventually. So that's why I've given it a 30%. 30% in a Russy Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating. So, yeah, we're going to get a lot of these ones, but I think now, it seems our wing options are sort. Don't forget, we've got blooming Luis Guilherme as well, and so I think the strike is going to be the issue for our next. It could be Fullkrug. I think it might be one and another, and it could be Wahi, the Lens 21-year-old French striker. We've been linked to him. He was linked to him when he was at Montpellier. Was he Montpellier for Lens, I think? But apparently, it was Montpellier. But apparently, according to L'Equipe, West Ham are working on a deal to sign a 21-year-old. He apparently has a market value of about 35 million euros, about 30 million quid. However, it would take at least 45 million euros to tempt Lens to sell in a talisman. They signed him from Montpellier last year for 30 million euros after a very good season with them. He had a decent season for Lens last season, 12 goals, 9 assists in 37 appearances in all competitions, including 3 goal contributions in the 6 Champions League games for Lens last season. He scored and provided an assist when they beat Arsenal in the group stages 2-1. However, the season before really put him in the map, 22-23, he scored 19 goals and 6 assists in 31 league games for mid-table Montpellier. In August, it said that the Hammers were closing in on a deal around £30 million last year, the same time we basically got the Kudus deal through. But according to L'Equipe, it's someone that Tim is still interested in potentially looking at. So it could be a case of Duran or Wahi, for example, in terms of that type of money, which is why I put him on a Lamar and I put Duran at about 60% for the same reason. What we got here? West. We're going to come to that, Ian. Chiesa would probably miss out on would make us. Yes, exactly. We'll talk about Todibo in a minute, but Juventus are up shit creek without a paddle in terms of money, which could play back into the West Ham's hands. And Anton mentioned it this morning. Thank you very much, Anton. And the idea being is we might, we could go back in for him. Do you do a stuff? We check on Etsy. We do some stuff on Etsy. We're doing a lot more next season, Carl. If you want some lovely merch, don't we already have two? Yes, we do. Oh, here's YouTube. You I hope you're well. If we can't get Duran, then go for Pacey. This would be our pacey guy. Should look at Acor Adams. A guy we were linked with before. Definitely have spoken about him last season particularly. But maybe Wahi could be someone we could be looking at. Same as this one. Some rumours just never go away. And that could be the case with Youssouf Fofana, 25-year-old Monaco French international midfielder. Now, the reason why it's not going away is because of Italy. Now, Italy's a funny old place. Now, we sort of go through the timeline again. I think it was Calcio Mercato, my favourite Italian news outlet, reported that AC Milan were closing on a deal for the French international. And then Keep reported our interest, and that interest was causing issues with AC Milan, with the Rizzori, because AC Milan were offering 17 million. Apparently, we offered 30 million pounds, rough, something like that. Now, for days, it seems that it's been set he's going to Milan. However, there is more to it. By all accounts, Fofana has rejected all options in favour of a move to Milan. AC Milan are keen to sell the player. Apparently, they have a gentleman's agreement in place with Fofana that they will sell him this summer, but they want as much money as possible from the sale. And there was a suggestion that there is internal conflict between Fofana and the club about the switch to Milan, and the fact that Milan are only willing to pay 17 million euros, including bonuses, and Monaco want 35 million euros for him. Now he's in the last year of his contract. And understandably, Monaco don't want to sell him for half the price. If West Ham are offering 35 million euros and AC Milan are only 17, unless AC Milan up the money, he ain't going there. And it could be a case of Fofana sits still and stays at Monaco this season and then joins AC Milan for free next season. But West Ham are apparently still in the hunt. And I said the word hunt. But it's a long shot. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Why are we? But we're a lot of players have preferences in terms of clubs they want to go to. You know, would you want to go to? If you want a West Ham fan, would you want to go to Stratford or would you want to go to Milan? I know where I'd rather go for the weather, and it's sometimes, and I totally understand it. But we're still hovering about. He doesn't want. Well, according to reports, he doesn't want to come to us. No, according to reports, he wants to go to AC Milan. That's the reports. In the same reports that other reports say, we're a bit. Wan Bissaka doesn't want to come to us. I haven't read those reports properly. What are you getting to do? What are we going to do with all the players that are access to requirements? Nobody's coming in for him. I know. Don't know. Who are your favourite? I don't really have one. You mean 3 out of 10? Yeah, 30%. 3 out of 10. We're going percentages down now. Get my house in the. I could come next door. I think they're selling up. We could drive in together. So that's Fofana, and then we've spoken about it quite a lot. People in the chat. Todibo, same thing, same issue. Anton spoke about it a little bit earlier on today, but it could be that the Todibo deal is back on, and this is a similar situation that Milan are having. Juventus have basically got no money, so they're looking to sell Chiesa. They're looking at they've sold Sule to Roma, a guy we were linked with. They need money. Now, Jean-Clair Todibo, he's made a clear preference for Juventus over West Ham. Now, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, they said that West Ham have come back to life once again. Juventus deal on the table was an initial loan with an option to buy, with lease to earn around between 30 to 35 million euros for the sale. Gazzetta report that West Ham have offered a better loan deal in the last few hours, but Todibo has still shown inclination towards Juventus. Now, Juventus haven't got the money at the moment to pay a decent loan fee, let alone probably agree. That's why it's an option, not an obligation. Nice can't use that really to spend because it's an option, not an obligation. Buy now, pay later type thing. West Ham can offer that. And we don't know about the total offer of the new valuation of the new offer. And it's up to Nice who they want to sell them to. Previously, apparently, we put a package around 35 million euros together. He is right-footed. And again, one that could take advantage of Juventus' issues. Could. It's it depends about, again, it depends about how it's all worded in terms of the setup. Look, we'll see what happens. I've given it a 50%. It's given it a mark because it's a choice of two, really. Sorry, I meant 30%. Sorry. Lots of deals accepted, but it's all into players' preference. Yeah, mental all these. Exactly. I'd be surprised if we get. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is in a West Ham shirt by the end of. Wouldn't be surprised. So, this time on Monday we had walked away from the Summerville deal. Well, according to reports, we'd walked away from the Summerville deal, and then it could be in a West Ham shirt by tomorrow. So can we really believe whatever we read to be believed? I don't know. Well, they did because apparently they couldn't afford it. Indeed, they need their skin. They need a lot of money to get these players in. That's what I mean. It's good. You see something starting to happen, and you see some players coming in. And if Todibo knows that his right back's going to be Wan Bissaka. Quite like that. I haven't checked, mate, to be honest. So if you did send it to me today, I haven't looked, so I'll be honest. And lastly, X jumped, got in front of me, bugger, what a bastard. But anyway, love him. But apparently West Ham are very interested in the Colombian midfielder Richard Rios from Palmeiras, according to XWG employee. Amongst others, the Hammers are still on the lookout for midfielder reinforcements. We spoke about Fofana, but this could potentially be a replacement for that. Now, Rios, and again, the reason why we're linked to him now, I think he's just got back to, because they had the Copa America and he was out for a little bit, and I think he's just come back. He had a really good showing for Colombia in the middle of the park. Several other Premier League clubs are interested: Everton, Leicester, Man United. He's also attracting interest from the Saudi Arabian clubs. He can play in a number of different roles in terms of midfield. And we would need to overcome a lot of opposition from other clubs to meet valuations. Obviously, we know Tim has been out in Brazil various times and talking to do, obviously, still potentially talking about Bruno deal and Wesley Casavo. Yuri Alberto, and Richard Rios, apparently. Now, it could be one of those random ones, I think it deserves a Lamar, a 50-50, I think. What do you think are starting? I have no idea, mate. Send it again, mate, and I'll have a look at it. I mentioned, yep, I do. You do, Costa. Putting bids in for Jimmy, reckon that's putting bids. Yeah, that looks like they're trying to get is it Kent? Yes, Kent, isn't it? From not Kent Hammers, Kent from Rangers. Ryan Kent. So they're looking at getting replacements for him. He'll start the best way, possibly. How can Everton spend their money while he's done? I don't understand that. No. or if we're desperate for goals, possibly. So it's an exciting time. It's getting a bit, as I said, we seem to be getting to a situation where we are now starting to get a bit more clarity in terms of who we're going for. In terms of where we are for, we're at 182. There's a few. I need to change that. Ian Acho's gone to Sevilla on a freebie. So I need to put him in. I need to change that number. But 182 players have been linked with, and hopefully we'll have another couple of greens in the next few days. I think we'll probably. I reckon we'll top up about 109. I reckon a few more names will come to the fruition, but I don't think there's going to be. It seems we've got our targets lined up. We probably already have, and it looks like we've got possible plan Bs and plan Cs available now. So he could. I think Nice would need the money, so we'll see. So important, been crying out. Yeah, it has, and so I think we thought we had it with Ben Rama. Now he's gone. Now we've always had a situation where it's been so heavy on the right hand side, and Emerson needs a left winger to work with. Can you imagine Emerson and Summerville together as a pairing? With Paqueta sort of dropping into that sort of 8 role. Oh, fucking hell. It's making me a bit horny. It's making me a bit moist for the season, I tell you. Need them over the line. We need the social media posts. We need the interviews. Probably not with Anton, because Anton Ferdinand. Might be Chris, if they do the interview. Chris and Ginge, if they do the interviews over here for Summerville before they go out to the States. I don't know. But exciting times. Exciting times ahead. Anyway, Hammers headlines. We'll be talking about Tim. He's driving the bus in this picture, but he'll apparently the old Steinton Airways are chartered. Do you think that Duran by the end of the window? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I definitely think I definitely think it will be going back in for him. It could be. He's getting better. Not our Anton. He's getting better with the interviews. Is it Bordeaux? Was that the club that's gone bust now? It's crazy, isn't it? I think being linked with players and not too many squad players. Well, I think maybe. I think the vision of Luis Guilherme is not to be a starting 11 player, to be a squad player and develop. It gives us backup, not for this season, I'd imagine, but maybe next summer, if a side comes in for Kudus or Paqueta, it's not like we've got the next one already there and embedded into the system. So I think that's what we're potentially looking at. Remember last year, obviously we lost Declan Rice, and we basically didn't have a replacement for him until the season had already started. We signed Alvarez, our first signing of that season, of that window, on the 10th of August, I think it was. By the 10th of August, we could have realistically at least 6 first-team players and 3 academy players as well. One of these listed players departing West Ham. Yeah, too right. Well, I think he'll still be in a West Ham shirt. I still think so. I think there's still... He's rejected, advances from the Saudi Pro League and stuff like that. I think we'll end up seeing him back at West Ham eventually. It will be difficult because, it seems we're making a big squad. Yes, and I think that'll make it... There's less games to give players, and I think if we have a capable enough first-team squad, I'd like to see the likes of Lewis given some a loan spell, maybe. I think maybe Casey goes out on loan. That's what I want. So we've got the production line, we've got the conveyor belt working. We need to stay in a few years, probably with a rolling FFP all years, indeed. Sorry, just don't want the Folk. Apparently pointless, absolutely pointless, and a waste of money. I think that's going to be one that we have to wait and see, mate. Isn't it? I think as I said, he gives me real Craig Dawson vibes in terms of what he could bring. So again, we shall wait and see. Lefties on the left was bugging me for ages. Big hole in the side for him, indeed. You're totally right, mate. And that's it, my friends. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. We're going to get some Leeds fans on talking about what we can expect with Summerville from a Leeds fan's perspective. That'll be on maybe later today, if not tomorrow. So that'll be interesting to see. Because obviously we can just put out all the stats and stuff, but actually understanding what he's like as a player. So keep an eye on the channel for that. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends, and we'll see you very, very soon. Much love. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.